Alright guys, if you remember in the last video, this was our train that brought this up from Phoenix. And now we're going to do a return trip. We're going to pick up another train, and we're going to head it back to Phoenix. And actually it is the same exact train because I don't have a train set up there. But if you ever wondered why they set up locomotives in this fashion, it's because of what you see here. In the other video, the first train was the last engine, and now it's going to be the lead engine. These are made by General Electric. They are all C44-9 is what they are called in their nomenclature. Alright, so we're going to do a little backup here. We're going to hook up to our train. And if I could find a video where you actually watch the train, I pull a tank train through the entire scenery of this level. I want to show that to you guys because the scenery level is really, really nice. You can see part of it up there in the left-hand corner. That's not finished yet. Of course, that would get all scenic with ground cover and grass and trees and so on and so forth. But up in northern part of Arizona, you'll see ponderosa pines. And so I had a bunch of those made up for me. They were all handmade. And you can see the scenery back there. Well, the train actually goes through all of that, and that looks really, really cool when it does, especially when it's a long train. But anyhow, this is the short route when we just want to make a delivery from one place to the other place. Now this is N scale. And most of those cars that you see there, the freight cars, do have metal wheels on them, which is a good thing. It helps keep the track clean, and plus they run a lot better. If you saw a little flicker there in the lights, a little dirt on the track. These locomotives are very sensitive to dirt. All three of these locomotives are powered, as I mentioned in the other video. And before I tore this down, that did have a mountain there. Anyhow, when this gets back to right where that Santa Fe sign is, there's a switch track right there, or a turnout, where I could take the train through all the scenery part of this part of the layout. Unfortunately, this part of the layout is gone. It does not exist anymore. Alright, now we're heading back into the other room, and I decided to do it this way rather than go through the wall again. I just didn't want to make any more holes in the wall. Alright, so now we're in the town of Ash Fork, which was the end of the original plans that I had for this layout. But you can see how nice and smooth these locomotives are. These locomotives are probably top of the line for N scale. They are made by Kato, K-A-T-O, Japanese made. Very, very nice locomotives, and they all run great. You see a little bit of my switch panel there. I do have motors to do my turnouts, at least on that particular part of the layout anyhow. And again, you'll see a little bit more scenery here. And this scene coming up was probably one of my best scenes. I have several nice scenes, but this is probably one of the best. This bridge that we're going to go across right here. In real life, this bridge is called Hell Canyon. And the bridge is pretty much the way you see it there, with 4 stanchions. I think it was 200 something feet to the ground. So yeah, it was pretty nice. And at this point, we start heading downhill again. No helix on this part. This part here is just a long, long grade down. It's 2% grade. And the train handles this part of the layout very, very well. You can see what a mess my cement plant is. It's like a catch-all. I'm going to see if I got some sound on this so you guys can actually hear the trains going by. That bridge that you see right there, that's not even prototypical. nor is the train going over itself on this particular part of the NSF subdivision. This was the only place, if I had gotten a derailment, I'd be in big trouble because there was no way I could get to it. And that was a foolish build on my part. I should have made part of one of those mountains a little bit removable. This is called Little Hell Canyon. And I think I had a derailment here. Yeah, I think I did. Anyhow, this is the town of Wickenberg now, and you can see it a little bit better as we cruise down the street here. All of those buildings, the white buildings you see right there, they are painted now. They weren't when I did this video. I like doing scenery. As you can see, all my scenery looks really, really nice, I think. This bridge that we're going to cross over, this is a scratch-built bridge that is actually there in real life. The roundabout is another one that I built right here, which is prototypical. And of course I got a couple of locomotives parked on the road. But you can see my scenery work. I mean, this is when I first started. Now this is going over the Haciampa River, which is usually dry 90% of the year until we get our monsoons, and then it kind of runs rapidly. Now, I don't know how much of the Helix I want to show you guys, because that's what makes this video so long, is actually the drive down the Helix. So I may cut some of the Helix out. We'll see when we get to the Helix if I feel like talking all of that or just cutting it down. We're going to go over one more bridge, and this bridge is called Aqua Fria Bridge. And if you saw that track flex up like that, I didn't leave enough room for expansion, and so the track actually buckled, and I'm surprised I did not get a derailment there. So right now we're going to be going around a big S curve, and then we're going to be heading down the Helix. Again, this is another dry river until it rains here in Arizona. And this is the S-curve I was talking about, which leads into the Helix. This Helix is big. This occupies 16 square feet of this room right here. But but when I built it, I made sure it was bulletproof. I have had no problems as far as derailments or any kind of such stupid stuff that a lot of people get on the Helixes. Helixes, I guess is what you would say. But this, my Helix was pretty much bulletproof. Every joint is soldered. There's electrical wiring from one side and 180 degrees to the other side. But this is going to be gone here. Right now it was moved to a different location, but I decided that the room that this is in right now, I am going to redo the floor, and I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to tear down this entire layout and then rebuild it after the floor is installed. So I'll just keep it going on the Helix, just to show you guys. And most guys that are in model railroading and that are really big into the model of railroading, they do everything. If the railroad is N scale, then they will do N scale speed. And I'm talking about this train right now. I do have an actual speedometer that I can check the speed. But if I should check the speed on this train is doing about between 25 and 30 miles an hour. And maybe one of these days when I get it up and running again, I'll show you that speedometer. It's pretty cool. Anyhow, we got this loop and one more loop, and it will be down on the bottom. Now the track on the very bottom is the one that goes around the Helix. So I could have a continuous run if I wanted to, and then also have a train going up the Helix, coming down the Helix, and so on and so forth. I could run this just like the real railroad would run it. The P-Vine sub is really a one-track with passing sidings along the way. Now I understand from different Facebook posts and all of that that the P-Vine is expanding into double track and possibly thinking of bringing Amtrak back into Phoenix. So we'll see about that, how true that's going to be. Alright, so finally out of the Helix, and we're passing through the town of Glendale. And this is a fun place because there's actually 5 industries there. You can see a couple of them right there. 5 industries to switch out in operations. And this entire area right now is totally different. Well, it's going to be torn down, but this is the bottom level that's going to be torn down. It doesn't look like this at all anymore. Oopsie. Alright, well, a little bit further and we'll be pulling back into the other room. Oh, I'm sorry. We decided to leave the cars there, and then the power will be heading back to the Phoenix yard. The place where he just dropped those cars off at are cars that are going to be switched out in this entire area. This room is basically what they call a switching layout in this room because there's just a lot of industries in here that need to get switched out. Anyhow, our locomotive is heading back into Phoenix. This part of the layout is also Phoenix, but I have to say it so people understand what's going on. And I think this is going to end right here. Say goodbye to the locomotives. Bye! Alright guys, that's it.